want to rebuild the World Trade Center as the World Trade Center, but better, a little bit taller, a lot stronger, just plain better.
New York's skyline has a massive, multi-billion-dollar structural ghost sitting right in plain sight. And for 20 years, people thought the Second World Trade Centers was canceled. In reality, the entire subterranean foundation, load transfer vaults, and transit integration were fully completed deep underground. Engineers literally built a floating concrete platform directly over active subway lines, waiting for a tower trapped in 5 separate redesigns. After the September 11 attacks, Lower Manhattan faced one of the most ambitious rebuilding efforts in modern history. The vision wasn't just to replace what was lost, it was to build something stronger, a completely new World Trade Center. New super tall towers, a memorial, transportation hubs, and deep underground infrastructure, including the final centerpiece, Second World Trade Center. After the attacks, many people expected New York to rebuild the Twin Towers exactly as they were. On paper, it sounded like the perfect symbol of resilience. But the human mind doesn't work like concrete or steel. For thousands of survivors, first responders, and families who witnessed that day, the original towers had become inseparable from one of history's greatest tragedies. Psychologists have long understood that places can trigger powerful emotional memories. Seeing the same silhouette rise over Manhattan again could have reopened wounds that many people were still trying to heal. So the debate was never just about architecture. It became a question of psychology. Should the skyline remind the world of what was lost, or inspire people to look toward the future? That question changed everything. Instead of recreating the past, planners chose an entirely new vision, one that honored the victims without asking millions of people to relive the trauma every time they looked up. The new World Trade Center wasn't designed to replace the Twin Towers. It was designed to represent something different. Not a copy of yesterday, but proof that even after unimaginable loss, a city and the people within it can rebuild, heal, and move forward. The decision was made. The skyline would move forward. New towers began climbing into the clouds, one after another, slowly reshaping Lower Manhattan. But one corner of the site refused to change. Years passed, yet the location reserved for 2 World Trade Center remained an empty space. From the street, it looked as if construction had simply stopped. And that's exactly what millions of people believed. The myth spread that the project had failed, that funding had vanished, or that the tower had been quietly abandoned forever. But none of those theories were true. The greatest secret wasn't missing from the skyline. It was hidden beneath it. While the surface looked untouched, one of the most expensive phases of the entire project had already been completed far below the streets of Manhattan. Billions of dollars had already disappeared underground. Not into offices, not into glass walls, but into an enormous hidden structural system that almost nobody would ever see. Buried beneath layers of concrete and steel was a foundation engineered to carry one of the tallest office towers in New York. Every massive column base had already been positioned with incredible precision. The reinforced concrete core had been designed to transfer unimaginable loads directly into Manhattan's ancient bedrock. Engineers had already solved the hardest problem, not building the tower, but creating the invisible structure capable of holding it for decades to come. From above, it looked like an empty construction site. Below, it was already one of the most advanced engineering projects on Earth. For years, millions of people walked across the plaza without realizing that an entire underground structural network was waiting silently beneath their feet. The skyscraper hadn't disappeared. It was simply waiting for the city above to catch up with the engineering that was already finished below. Long before a single piece of steel ever reached the skyline, 2 World Trade Center was already being built where almost nobody could see it. Deep beneath the streets of Lower Manhattan, engineers weren't raising a skyscraper. They were creating the underground machine that would one day carry it. Thousands of tons of ultra-high-strength reinforced concrete were poured into foundations anchored directly into Manhattan's solid bedrock. These weren't ordinary footings. They were enormous, load-bearing structures engineered to support one of the tallest office towers in New York for generations, while resisting extreme wind forces, immense vertical loads, and the constant pressure of the city above. Every column location, every anchor point, and every reinforced concrete core had already been calculated for a tower that didn't even exist yet. The invisible part of the skyscraper was completed before the visible part had even begun. Then, everything changed. Not because the engineering failed, not because construction ran into technical problems, but because the world economy suddenly collapsed. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, demand for giant corporate office towers disappeared almost overnight. Companies that had been expected to occupy millions of square feet of office space delayed expansion, canceled negotiations. Without major tenants willing to commit, there was no reason to build the tower above the ground. Yet something extraordinary remained below it. The foundation was already finished. One of the strongest structural bases ever built in New York was sitting underground, fully completed, fully engineered, and carrying absolutely nothing. As the years passed, architects kept redesigning the tower to attract new tenants. The building wasn't redesigned once, it went through 5 major architectural redesigns, with each version responding to a completely different vision of what the future workplace might become. The structure beneath the city barely changed. Only the skyscraper above it kept evolving. For years, hidden beneath millions of people walking through Lower Manhattan every day, an enormous underground engineering system quietly waited in darkness, ready, operational, capable of supporting an 80-story giant at any moment. A multi-billion-dollar foundation built for a skyscraper that existed only in blueprints. It was the ultimate engineering paradox. The roots of one of the world's most advanced skyscrapers had already been planted deep into the bedrock, while the tree itself was still waiting to be born. Most super-tall skyscrapers follow a simple path. An architect creates a design, engineers refine it, then construction begins. But the Second World Trade Center refused to follow that rule. Its story wasn't written once, it was rewritten over and over again. Every time the future seemed certain, the future changed. As New York searched for the right anchor tenant, each global corporation arrived with a completely different vision of what the world's next great headquarters should be. And with every new vision, the tower transformed. What looked like indecision was actually one of the most extraordinary architectural evolutions ever attempted. Over 2 decades, some of the world's most celebrated architects competed to redefine the same skyscraper. One proposal imagined a sharp crystalline crown slicing into the Manhattan skyline like a giant shard of glass. Another replaced the elegant spire with a dramatic stack of massive glass volumes, each one shifted slightly to create the appearance of giant floating cubes suspended above the city. Yet every version was engineered to stand. The tower kept changing because the world beneath it was changing even faster. The modern office was being reinvented. Companies no longer wanted endless rows of identical cubicles stretching across every floor. They wanted vast, column-free workspaces, natural daylight, and outdoor spaces hundreds of feet above the streets below. Instead of forcing businesses to adapt to the building had to adapt to the businesses. That evolution ultimately shaped the tower we know today. Its dramatic stepped terraces aren't simply an architectural signature, they're performing multiple engineering jobs at the same time. Each setback interrupts powerful wind currents that race between Manhattan skyscrapers, breaking up the forces before they can build into dangerous vibrations against the structure. Hidden inside the architecture, the building is quietly helping protect itself from the sky. The terraces also create elevated gardens that collect rainwater, reduce heat absorbed by the building, improve energy efficiency, and provide rare outdoor spaces suspended high above Lower Manhattan. Every step carved into the tower has a purpose. Nothing exists only for appearance. In the end, Second World Trade Center became something few skyscrapers ever achieve. A building shaped not only by engineering, but by economics, technology, human behavior, and a constantly changing vision of how people will work in the future. It isn't just architecture frozen in time. It's the physical record of a world that kept changing before the tower could finally rise with it. There is another reason this project has moved so carefully. This isn't just another construction site. Every decision carries enormous historical weight. Workers aren't simply building offices. They're completing one of the most symbolic rebuilding projects in modern history. Every tower, every pathway, every public space has been designed to respect the memory of what once stood here while looking toward the future. When people finally see the completed tower, they won't see the giant foundations poured years before construction resumed, or the hidden transportation systems carrying hundreds of thousands of passengers. The final piece of the World Trade Center wasn't rising into the sky, it was waiting beneath the streets. And when the second World Trade Center finally opens, it won't just complete a skyline, it will complete one of the most remarkable engineering rebuilds in modern history.
If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications.